2 from the side of Rrq Akira. Going to be, I do hear the Jawhead actually, alongside the Wan.
Huh. Jawhead Roam? Jawhead EXP? Jawhead Roam, right?
Probably Jawhead Roam. EXP is possible, but a bit more of a pub game pick. Ooh, Lunox is going to be mid lane for Insilio.
Yeah.
Battle of Wits.
All right, it's going to be Rrq Akira on the blue side up against Insilio on the red side. Same start, probably heading towards the gold lane anyways. Yup, right to the top side of the map. But the early proxy coming up from this high loss as well. Very nicely done by Maniac to identify that he doesn't really care what Edith does at level 1.
I think this is very smart as well, because when you have a Jawhead on the opposite side, it's very common for them to start leashing the second buff to try and accelerate their jungle. So by Maniac doing this, he knows that Luis will probably not be around to stop him, and it will counterbalance the speed that King farms.
Yep, and so far that means King is not going to hit level 4 on time, and opts not to invade for the core ball camp. Instead, runs up towards his Beetle side where he will meet Suyo.
Justinian's already here, both junglers at level 3. King starts the battle. Justinian taking a lot of damage. The Retri is being used on to chunk out Justinian this early is also pretty good.
I mean, they pull it back to their level, right? Their level of tempo. Both junglers are at equal level at this point in time. Both hitting at level 4 exactly at the same time as well. The only slight advantage I would expect to be seeing is probably from Reaper and as well as Sagan, right? The slight EXP lead coming from stealing away that one camp.
King, though, gonna have his eyes on Don't. I get the feeling Don't knows the possibility that he is around, but it's gonna be difficult for him to position anyway. Not able to flicker out of the Ogi Shadow kill, but not quite enough damage from King to finish him off either.
Right, they're still alive for the time being here. And ooh, a good Luis using that ejector. It looks like the potions haven't been popped down. They still want to make sure that the ejector can potentially save lives, if not grief them.
We all know the possibility of that in our pubs games. But with the first turtle up, both junglers still going to be matching each other in pace. Just going to be taking these final buffs before they commit to it.
Oh, they're just waiting for the right amount of, waiting for the right time here. Both junglers, at least for King, it looks like he's positioning himself to actually try and take this away. He's going to hit level 5 first. I don't know if he wants to get his purple buff real quick, but at this point, Justinian knows which side of the map that he's already started on and probably recognizes that he will go for his purple before touching the turtle.
Yeah, both junglers going to go for the more economy route, not trying to take the turtle at level 5, instead shifting to the buff and hitting level 6 first. So the game state being slowed down a little bit, which I think is quite good for Insilio, since with an Edith and Jawhead on the opposite side, Akira's early game is pretty scary.
See how this plays out, right? Because, again, they don't necessarily have to fight for this turtle. They see the turtle spot, and now, look at that. He's heading towards the top side. King trying to set up for a potential dive here.
But Lovely already rotating up just to make sure that Don't doesn't get targeted again. So Rrq Akira still sticking to a more farm-oriented pathing, which I don't really like when you have setup heroes like Jawhead and Edith.
Yeah, and I think that Jawhead eventually will fall off. So, there we go. That's what we want to see. Yes, I looked at Luis and saw, hey, wait a minute, where's the green little dot? I mean, I don't see him on the map using his unstoppable force anytime soon. And finally, first blood already coming through.
Literally right after we said it as well. Being able to catch out Lovely in between rotations to the gold lane, gonna be pretty nice, but not actually that valuable since it is the roamer on the side of Insilio.
At the same time, Lovely, he needs to make sure that the Shunpo is up if he's targeted by the unstoppable force. Having anti-CC is a powerful tool, but if you mistime it, you could lose everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Jawhead can be a two-pronged spear here, depending on how well he is played. It's a hero that has already found some success in the wildcard so far, but isn't actually the most popular pick due to how quickly he does fall off once you get to the mid to late game.
Agreed. I do think that right now, Luis should be hovering towards the top side of the map, right? Every single time he has that unstoppable force available, he should probably be forcing it onto Don't to guarantee his battle spell. If not, and that's
that was close. Yep, unstoppable force actually gonna miss on Lovely. Good flicker timing, but battle spell gone on Cho.
Yeah, that's fine. Just means that if Cho is eating the ult, that means Don't can survive and just keep playing his lane.
Yep, we can see though that Gusta putting a lot of pressure on him in this lane, so a bit difficult to farm, but he's still keeping up in EXP. Game state still pretty passive right now. Neither team looking for engagements. Tekashi gets the onward on Lovely, but not gonna commit.
Louise, though, forces out the Brilliance at least.
Yep, Louise not going to be targeted by Maniac. Glorious Halfway comes out, has to flicker out of air. Rrq Akira with the instant reversal. Brilliance stolen by Sagan, so he's not able to get the kick in from a Lovely. Both teams doing a good job of responding right now. Turtle at 50%, unstoppable force on Maniac, throws him back into the rest of Rrq Akira, but he still has Revitalized, so he's just tanking all of it. Primal Wrap comes out, Justinian gets the Turtle. Maniac still surviving, but gets terrified. Ogi Shadow Kill. Sagan finally puts the nail in the coffin.
Huh, interesting choice of target priority there. Very interesting choice.
Oh, he misses his tap skill too on Louise.
What? Unfortunate. That could have been a really great trade kill coming in from Insilio's side. Don't worry, this is what we do expect from Insilio, especially for the early stages of this game. Probably doesn't want to get too involved just yet, but Rrq Akira, hopefully they start pumping up the gas, right? Now Louise is missing out on his flicker, big deal. He still has that unstoppable force. He just needs a volatile target, and Don't is currently missing his flicker right now. So if they can start this dive and set it up nicely on that top side, and I can see Sagan hovering around there too, this could be a free kill.
Yeah, it's a pretty big timing with flicker still on 50-second cooldown. Louise not gonna commit ult yet. Lovely is here, gets the kick onto the jaw hit, into the tower. Glorious Pathway cutting off Louise's escape route, and that's gonna be an easy kill, sniped by Justinian.
Yup. Interesting. Louise unable to get his ult off in time, and Don't positioning very, very well. He did initially trigger the activation for the crossbow attack, but Gusta Gulugusta did not have any minions to work with, so going underneath that tower, he didn't want to take any shots, especially with potentially trading his life away later down the line.
Yeah, but I'm surprised Louise didn't commit Unstoppable Force a little bit earlier. If he did, then Don't dashing into the bush wouldn't have actually mattered. Tekashi can avoid the way of the dragon by putting the onward Lovely behind him. Crossbow attack is available. Ejector gonna throw Maniac back towards Gustav. Pops the Revitalize, but he's not gonna be able to live for much longer. Here comes the Brilliance, just to zone him away. A beautiful flicker wave of the dragon onto Tekashi, throws him back in, but Justinian has been picked off in the back line with the Ogi Shadow Kill. Double kill for the Hayabusa, and Sagan picks up the killing spree on Reaper.
And that's what you want to see from Rrq Akira. The initial engagement seemed a little funky there, but Insilio tried to take advantage of the opportunity. Luckily, the reinforcements came in time to find this counter engage, and King specifically getting into that backline, utilizing the extra distance he can get from his quad shadows by using the wall of the turtle pit.
These are all little micro mechanics you learn when you've played enough of a hero. But this is a kind of similar issue to game number 1, where Rrq Akira did have more momentum in the early game. Especially with a draft like this, it is expected that they would be more comfortable taking team fights. Insilio still going to be focusing on scaling.
I think as of right now, Rrq Akira are making less mistakes. I think their target acquisition is a little funky at times, but the execution seems to be going well, right? A 3.4k for now. Let's see how long they maintain this.
They're going to try and contest orange buff. Sagan makes his presence known, but Justinian still able to take it away. Rrq, this is a much more balanced game state for them.
Yeah, and maybe for Insilio, is there a way out? Can they find... I mean, Lovely can go for some kicks. I think it might just be worth kicking Louise to a certain degree here. Oh,
Unstoppable Force onto
there we
Lovely.
go.
Avoids it with the Shunpo. Rrq Akira are pretty deep, but Insilio not quite ready to fight yet. Justinian's coming in. Tower being targeted by Gusta. Glorious Pathway comes out. Insilio now chasing Louise down, but getting terrified. Onward, going to miss with the Earth Shatter. Brilliance as well. Not doing much poke damage. And now, King waiting for the ultimate opportunity. Picks off Reaper with the Yogi Shadow Kill.
Huge, huge opportunity there. Nicely done by Rrq Akira. Again, bait your opponents out, let them utilize their abilities, and then go for the big kicker at the very end. King currently at level 13. He's a level ahead of Justinian, and he's at a pretty big power spike in his build. He opted to go for a Malefic Roar early on as a more cost-efficient item compared to the BOD to get that bit of oomph whiff that you want to see pre 10 minutes.
And we know how scary a Hayabusa can be once he has those kills under his belt. King now in a very comfortable position, and a 5k net worth lead for Rrq Akira in 10 minutes means that they are looking way better compared to game number 1.
Well, actually quite a significant amount of gold. I thought it was just one level, but he's also 1.2k ahead of his opponent in Justinian so far. Looking at the rest of these items as well, we do see the Gleaming Gen and a couple of components being utilized by Maniac, but he finally finishes that Dominance Ice to reduce the amount of health that this Wanmon is going to be getting back.
Now Rrq Akira grouping up on the Lord. Insilio knows that they're not going to be able to contest this, so they go for some macro play instead. Get the bot tier 1. Shouldn't be too hard for them to defend against this, but Rrq Akira, now is the time to step on the gas.
Yeah, I think that Rrq Akira, now that they're playing a composition that's very heavy on their ult, at the very least now their tempo is much better compared to game number 1. I think a lot of their pressure is off their shoulders, and this 5.1k lead is looking real nice for them.
Yep, looking really good, in fact. The pressure off their shoulders now means that Rrq Akira can play a lot more similarly to their usual style. It may be a bit late, but at this stage, you may as well put it all on the stage since they're not going to be moving on.
Yeah, for now, we haven't seen too many hard engages just yet. They're just playing the technical side, focusing on the macro, focusing on structural damage against Insilio to create an economic lead. If they can break the holy barriers early, that would be nice, but Lovely is going to try his best, but he won't take too much damage here. That's the barrier down, and they still have a big siege minion ready to go. I think that Takashi was thinking about flickering there for half a second. Luckily, Rrq, they decide to call it off.
I think they're calling it off for now. Looks like Insilio should be able to defend this as we expected. They are able to run back out, but you can see the poke damage coming in from Rrq Akira. Their presence is pretty oppressive.
How oppressive can it get, right? Because again, they're pushed all the way back to the inhibitors, but no inhibitors are falling. With all the barriers down, at this point, it might be... Are they willing to take a 50-50 to try and get a pick off here? I think that the smarter option is probably not to, and considering that Rrq Akira, they've only got a 5.8k lead, which is pretty significant, but a large part of it is coming in from both King as well as Sagan.
Yeah, the map pressure Rrq Akira has right now is pretty oppressive. Insilio gonna find themselves in a very similar situation the previous, where they can't really safely extend outside of the base. So this is very easy for Rrq Akira if they just continue holding on to this pressure.
Yep. For now, looking at the way the items are currently built, I love the fact that Gusta Lagusta is going for a Corrosive Scythe, Demon Hunter Sword, and then going for the Malefic Gun, but making sure that he's staying really, really safe with the winds of nature. Now, as I mentioned before, a large part of the gold was pretty much the Hayabusa as well as the Valentina, but now looking at it, even Wanwan is starting to be part of this conversation. The final items are going to be coming through real quick, and I think that Insilio, they need Lovely to find an incredible kick here. And I think at this point, if they can't get anybody, might as well just try and go for Louise at this point, who is posted up pretty far up in this matchup. Here we go. Conceal comes through from Lovely's side. Unstoppable Force as well. Unfortunately, no ship bump for him. Finds the kick towards Sagan, but it's too late. Immortality down, and the pick is through. Rrq Akira is able to find one for themselves. Insilio will not have the man advantage dealing with this Lord. It's going to be a slow build up here from this point onwards, but at least we look down towards the bottom side of the map and not going to be wasting any time. He needs to get to his own max build, if not a Winds of Nature. Despite throwing the SOD, will not be able to steal the Lord. As we see this game progress, Windtalker already complete from Gusta Lagusta's side. Rrq Akira are slowly trying to choke out Insilio. Don't let them walk out of their base. Don't give them any jungle farm. Don't let them walk out further than the river. As long as Rrq Akira has drawn this tough line against the sand, Insilio probably will not make a play just yet. But that's an assumption here. For all we know, they could look to make a flicker play of their own. Lovely, in about 58 more seconds is when we expect to see this flicker actually pull through. But so far, we need full commitment. If he's, oh, here comes the play.
The flicker from Louise, not going to be successful though, as he gets caught out. Glorious pathway inside the base. Jawhead, going to be the first one gone. Wind of Nature just purchased by Don't. Brilliance used by by the Lunox to make sure that the Ogi Shadow kill does not come out.
They still have the Lord. It's Luminous, and it's going to go for the charge. They're guaranteed at least one inhibitor. Let's see if they get all three.
Bottom inhib gone, mid inhib gone, and Insilio wants to hold on to this last one. Lord gonna be made short work of. They're able to defend this for now, but for how long?
They should be able to hold on for a little bit longer. Their high ground defense actually isn't too bad, but it really depends on the position of Reaper. He's 0-2-1 so far, and he only has the Blood Wings alongside... Oh, wait. Are they gonna...
Brilliance comes in, Glorious halfway. Insilio wants to try and punish them for this. But King, almost gets caught, able to blink out. Reaper, though, not as lucky. He gets picked off. Wind of Nature used by both marksmen. And now Gusta gets the crossbow of Tank Maniac. The first one down, Lovely, gonna be the next target. Gets the double kill on the 1-1. Insilio with only 2 players remaining. Don't able to shut down King, but he will lose Justinian. Triple kill.
Oh my
Fear of
God.
Destruction comes in. I don't know if he wants to commit for it. It's probably not a smart idea. It is 1v4. He has to hold 15 seconds for Reaper, but the Unstoppable Force has already been committed. Rrq Akira gets the mega kill and the crystal. We are going to a game number 3.